Hey everyone, welcome to Area 616 and my final day of San Diego Comic-Con 2017 coverage. There's still one day left, but there just isn't enough interesting panels left for me to talk about. But today was absolutely incredible. There was so much awesome stuff, so let's dive in. I'll be talking about a bunch, starting with The Defenders, Iron Fist Season 2, changing it up a bit with Stranger Things Season 2, and then I'll dive into Black Panther, AntMan and the Wasp, Thor Ragnarok, Captain Marvel, and of course, Avengers Infinity War. You, of course, notice the timestamps. Those are there so that you can skip to what you're most interested in hearing about. There's a lot here today, so I'm sure you'll be glad to use these. But let's get cracking. So yesterday, we got our first clip from The Defenders, one that shows Alexandra and Madame Gao discussing their plans, with Alexandra requesting they speed it up. It's really neat because Gao is actually scared here, and having seen her in Daredevil and Iron Fist, that's not a normal thing for her. So Alexandra must be a serious threat. So this news is really just relieving, as Scott Buck has been officially kicked off of Iron Fist. Thank goodness. Now, hopefully we can get a really good season of Iron Fist from the new showrunner, Raven Metzner, who's previously worked on the Elektra movie from 2005, as well as the recent Sleepy Hollow TV series. Jeff Loeb gave a statement saying, Raven's love of all things Iron Fist and his extensive knowledge of martial arts films made him the perfect choice to continue telling the adventures of Danny Rand and Colleen Wing. Season 1 and The Defenders are only the beginning of this action-packed tale. So yeah, I'm happy with this. As long as it's not Buck, my faith is restored. So we got the official trailer for Stranger Things Season 2, and it's freaking fantastic. Even after the Ragnarok trailer, which I'll get to in a bit, I think this is my favorite trailer from the San Diego Comic-Con this year. The use of Michael Jackson's Thriller is just brilliant. I'm just so excited for this season. At the panel, we got some interesting tidbits. First of all, the new cast members came out. Max, played by Sadie Sink, who's actually briefly shown in the trailer. Then, Dacre Montgomery, who plays Max's older stepbrother Billy, and Paul Reiser, who will be playing someone named Dr. Owens. Apparently, Owens is brought in to clean up Brenner's mess. But the trailer is amazing. There's so much crazy and weird stuff in it. I just cannot wait for October 27th. Alright, so now we're getting into the Marvel Studios panel, and I'm going to start things off with Black Panther. So first of all, we got a new poster for it, which is pretty cool. But there was also footage shown there, so I'll provide a description for you guys. So the trailer starts out in a club where T'Challa, the Dora Milaje, and Everett K. Ross have set up a trap for Clow. Ross has made a deal to give Clow diamonds in exchange for vibranium. Shuri gets impatient and starts a fight, which brings in an action scene, where Clow's arm turns into a weapon, which he fires at T'Challa, so him having a robotic arm is confirmed. Then we see a trailer of sorts, with T'Challa becoming king and talking about the kind of ruler he wants to be. But Killmonger confronts him about him doing nothing, which is followed by a scene of Black Panther and the Dora Milaje chasing Clow through the city. We see T'Challa hit his chest while he's wearing a business suit, and his Black Panther suit forms around him, but apparently, at some point in the trailer, his suit actually has bits of gold on it. He then runs up the wall and in midair throws a staff to the ground, which Clow's car crashes into. Then we see Killmonger and T'Challa sparring out of their suits, with Killmonger's suit forming around him like panthers. All of this is playing to Kendrick Lamar's Loyalty. This footage sounds so awesome, and I cannot wait for this movie and for another trailer. So there were a ton of casting reveals for Ant-Man and the Wasp, which helped to shine light on the story, as well as some concept art and footage shown. In the cast, we got Randall Park, who will be playing Jimmy Woo, Hannah John Kamen, who will be playing a female version of the Ghost, an enemy of Ant-Man and Spider-Man's. There's no telling if she's the main villain of the movie, though the rumors are it's Egghead. Walton Goggins will be playing cross-tech weapons designer Sonny Birch. But the two biggest reveals were Lawrence Fishburne as Dr. Bill Foster, who was Goliath in the comics for a while, and Michelle Pfeiffer as Janet Van Dyne. I think these are all awesome choices. I'm really excited for this movie. Beyond that, we got some concept art of Hank Pym in the Ant-Man suit, and some screen test footage of the Wasp, and one showing Ant-Man riding on a little girl's backpack, assumedly Cassie's. Also, there was a car chase scene where a car shrinks down, drives underneath the other car, then grows back to full size while still partially underneath it, flipping the other car. Then at the end, we see Giant Man peeking out from an alleyway. So we got the official trailer for Thor Ragnarok, and it was awesome. I think the first teaser trailer had a better flow to it than this one, but this is still very, very good, and it had tons of awesome stuff in it. We see Fenrir, we see Korg, and I think some of the Warbound. We see Hulk talking and freaking Surtur, who will be voiced by Clancy Brown. So yeah, this trailer was absolutely awesome. I'm not going to dwell on it too long just because I've still got a ways to go here, but I will also mention that we got this poster right here, which was pretty great. And on top of that, I'd like to elaborate a bit on the Hulk speaking. See, apparently here, he has the grammar of a 2-year-old, and it's because he's been the Hulk for 2 years. Hulk usually turns back into Banner after a short while, so he doesn't really get the chance to think. But here, apparently he's had 2 years to start to get smarter. So much cool stuff here. First of all, we got our first look at Captain Marvel's costume, which is fantastic. It's actually very faithful to the comics design. And we also got a lot of story details for Captain Marvel that are super interesting, but also kind of confusing. So the villains are revealed. We have the Kree and the Flarkin Skrulls, guys. The Skrulls are here, finally, in the MCU, with Captain Marvel. I'm guessing this movie's going to involve the Kree-Skrull War, and maybe even set up a secret invasion storyline for the future. But what's really interesting is the reveal that Nick Fury will be in the movie, and he'll have both eyes here. Why? Because this movie is set before Iron Man, and you might think, oh, so it's in 2006 or something. Nope, it's set in the early 90s, around 20 years ago. That brings up a lot of questions. First of all, it looks like we're going to learn just how Nick Fury lost his eye. And you'll remember in Captain America the Winter Soldier, he said,
"Last time I trusted someone, I lost an eye."
So it'd be interesting if the person he trusted ended up being a Skrull. Who knows? It may be this movie that adapts the Secret Invasion storyline to a degree. But this makes me wonder about Carol's age. Let's say this is set in 1993, as they did say the early 90s. So Brie Larson is currently 27, but let's say she's about 20 here. You can be 18 to enlist in the Air Force, so 20 would work. That would mean that in 2018, when Infinity War is probably set, Carol should be about 45 years old, which, no. Brie Larson simply isn't old enough to pass for 45. I also kind of doubt Carol's going to be 40 years old now. So how's this going to work? My guess is she's going to get frozen somehow in the movie, maybe by the Kree or the Skrulls or S.H.I.E.L.D., who knows, so that she'll be preserved for modern day. That's just my guess. Either that or here, maybe part of her power slowed aging, because I'm pretty confident Marvel's not going to have Captain Marvel look 40 in modern day. At the very end, Marvel pleased their fans by showing them the Infinity War footage from D23. Now, there's plenty of D23 footage descriptions online, but I figured I'd go over it here too, just because I never got around to it with D23. It starts off on the Milano with the Guardians with Teenage Groot, where Mantis says we are arriving, to somewhere they describe as dangerous. Then, Thor smashes into their windshield, his hair still short from the events of Thor Ragnarok. The Guardians bring him onto their ship, where Mantis wakes him up and he asks who they are. Then we cut to a scene with Scarlet Witch dodging some kind of white energy which splits a car in half. Then Loki stands in ruins presenting the Tesseract to someone. Then we see a scene of Peter Parker on a school bus with his spider sense going off, making all the hairs on his arms stand up. This followed by a scene of Iron Man in space with the Guardians, getting ready for battle. Thanos begins talking, saying, "Fun really isn't something one considers when balancing the universe, but this does put a smile on my face." Then we see Gamora looking on, terrified, the Guardians looking at ruins on many worlds, including Earth. Thanos warps into a new world. Star-Lord, Doctor Strange, and Spider-Man in his Iron Spider suit battle him. Winter Soldier is seen fighting, and Black Panther is seen preparing to defend Wakanda. Then we see Cap stepping out of the shadows, bearded and with slightly longer hair, followed by a scene of the Hulkbuster armor in battle. Then we see Peter laying in Tony Stark's arms with his mask off, fighting back tears. He says, "I'm sorry, Tony." Then we see Black Panther fighting an Outrider like in the Infinity comics. Thor getting his head squeezed by Thanos, and Thanos promptly pummeling Iron Man. We see a shot of the Guardians defeated, Thanos with a fully forged Infinity Gauntlet, and finally, Thanos throwing a moon at the planet. So yeah, this is pretty crazy. It sounds like Infinity War is going to be absolutely nuts. I just cannot wait to see all of this. I'm thinking we'll get the first teaser trailer in October, just in time for Thor Ragnarok, but man, I'm insanely excited for this. I'm going to wrap this up just to not let this video get too crazy long, but what do you guys think about all the footage description? Captain Marvel, Stranger Things Season 2, all of it. Let me know all your thoughts and theories in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all on Monday with your regularly scheduled Area 616 video.